So much for being a part of our show. Thank you. I've been away for a while on other topics, of course. I have not just been lollygagging around. I've been talking about other things that pertain to life on other stations. And I would like to welcome each and every one of you. Come on in and be a part of our session. We love for you to join us and be a part of our session today. For those Facebook lovers, come on in. We have you up on the screen, and Spreaker is in the house. Spreaker is running neck to neck with my Facebook followers. I don't need any friends. I need all the followers I can get. So if you're just only a friend, why don't you go out and give me those 2 thumbs up? Tell your neighbor, tell a friend that Omi is on, and we're talking about health. Education. This is an institution, Lilly Institution for Exceptional Education. And this time we're focusing in on health for the remaining portion of our year. We're talking about aging seniors that are 60 and 65 and older. What is happening? Our society doesn't care about the elderly anymore. They're tucking them away in some assisted living or some skilled nursing facility. And they're saying, well, that's the end of their life. And their life goes down the drain. Well, it doesn't have to, ladies and gentlemen. If you are aging well, you can wear your hair natural. You can put it all out there, and you don't have to have extensions on for those gray areas of bald spot. Let it all hang out. You're beautiful with your grays and all. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming to our live show. And we are going to be giving you a little bit of insight today about healthy aging. What must you do? You can't go to the doctor and say, Doc, you know I'm getting old. And that comes with all these aches and pains. No, it doesn't. Don't let anyone fool you. You don't have to have aches and pains to go along with aging. You can go up and down those steps, and you can take away some of that excruciating pain. And we're here to talk about some of the products that are out there. Now, for one thing, I did talk to you about getting plenty of plant protein in your diet. I'm going to bring that product out again and remind you that the plant protein is very vital for strengthening your core, your body. Now, they're talking about the people who are dying from COVID virus have compromising conditions such as sugar diabetes, which is not a disease. May I remind you, let me repeat, it is not a disease. It is a food condition and a complication of carbohydrates. So quit letting people tell you that sugar diabetes is a disease. You're not stuck with it all your life. There's predisposition, and there's also predispositions because of food additives that have caused your body to act inappropriately. Now, you're not really deficient in insulin because your body makes insulin. It's the rapidness of how they make it, how frequently they make it, and whether or not your body's insulin resistant. We're going to talk a little bit about that. The 3 main known diseases that are sugar diabetes, high blood pressure, and kidney failure. Okay, and also high blood pressure and heart attacks. Black people are leaving this earth too rapidly because they're not informed. I want to inform you today. Let me be your media to inform you today. I am 67 years younger and getting younger. I am the youngest of 9 children, and most of my elderly brothers and sisters did live to be 80 years old, such as my oldest sister lived to be 86 years old, and my oldest brother is 82. And my uncles lived to be 101, 102. Now, that means we have longevity in our family, and I know this. And my uncles told me a little bit about our Geechee heritage and Seminole background of Indians. And Indians don't take from the medicine cabinet. They go into the woods, they create their own substance, and they create their own medicines. Now, you need to know a little bit about about what you can create in your pharmaceutical kitchen. You need to know that you have the cures to some of the diseases that you thought were uncurable. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about some things that I found on the net that people talked about, and I listened and I bought them, and I was very, very pleased. As I told you about Redwood, very good for circulation. This product was advertised on Facebook. I listened to the advertisement and I ordered it, and I've been ordering it every 6 months because it is a good product. I'm very pleased with it. It helps the circulation. Remember, I told you that the life of the flesh is in the blood. And African Americans used to do a spring cleaning, and they used to take sulfur to cleanse their blood, to make the blood resilient and strong. So how can a virus get into our cavities unless we make the blood strong? We know that the life of the flesh is in the blood. I'm waving at Naga. How are you? Thank you for joining me this morning. And I would like to welcome those newcomers. If you are not familiar, go down and sign up and become a follower. And then, boy, you can rock with me now, and I'm sure going to let you run with me later. Yes, I'm blowing up, ladies and gentlemen. I have a special gift, and that is on health. As I told you, I was an energy frequency healer, and I have done that work over 10 years ago in hospitals that surround the Midwest area. And those of you who know me know that I was stationed in the hospital working in respiratory therapy as a technician. And they later discovered that I had energy frequency healing that they wanted to take advantage of. So they brought me to the forefront and carried me down the corridors of the cancer patients. And I began to do my work of frequency healing. I just stood there, and the frequency and vibes around me did the work. I was just an avatar and a vessel. You can be too. Now, as I talked about the redwood, it is an herb and mixtures of herbs that helps to cleanse the blood and help the circulation. Go online. You can find it online. You can purchase it through Amazon or through their corporation called Zoom. Okay? That product is excellent. Now, because we're talking about aging, and I wanted to make sure I was taking something that was going to include all the minerals. You know, minerals are the things that you can have a deficiency in. However, your vitamins, you couldn't have a deficiency too often because you're eating all your foods that have most of your vitamins. Now, let me tell you, vitamin D is not a vitamin. It's a mineral. And most people have a deficiency in vitamin D and vitamin D3. And that is something that the doctors are now prescribing for patients to add in their diet if they are African American descent. Why is that? Because we are sun people, and we need the sun to help us make vitamin D. And when you can't go out in the sunlight, you must take a supplement of vitamin D that's prescribed from the doctors. Now, don't go out there piling up on your vitamin D and taking it without asking your doctor, because there is a test they must give you to make sure you're not allergic. Now, you can get more than what you need of the vitamin D, and it will be excreted out in your urine. But you do need it for your brain, because your brain is covered with vitamin D. Your organs are covered with vitamin D. It is an essential mineral that's needed. And they're now finding this out. If they don't give you any other prescription, they will try to offer African Americans the vitamin D, preferably vitamin D3. Make sure you talk to your doctor about it. Ask them about it, because it's specifically designed for African Americans who have a shortage because we're not getting the sunlight in the wintertime. Now, this is an aging Mygogent. It actually works to support your dietary body and giving you the supplements and the minerals and vitamins you need for aging. Now, usually choline is one of those vitamins that people tend to, or minerals that they tend to forget. If you look at all the minerals, you will find that you can use some minerals. And I'm going to show you some supplemental minerals that I just recently started to take. Now, all women know that their bones can become fragile, and when you fall, you can end up injuring your hip and have to have a hip replacement, or anybody that breaks their arm, they can find out that they have fragile bones as they get older. And it's very, very vital that we understand that our skeletal system is very important and we have to take heed to strengthen that. Now, I did find these particular supplements online, and it's called Algae Cal Plus, and it's a bone strengthener. And I just began to take this. I don't have any report on it yet, but it was recommended over the internet on Facebook. It comes with the Scrotum Booster as well. And that Scrotum Booster you have to take with it. One, you take 2 tablets, and the other you take 3. And they also recommended the Triple Power Omega-3 Fish Oil. And you've probably heard a lot about Omega-3 Fish Oil. It has Omega-3. There is also Omega-6 and Omega-9. These are the essential oils that help you. Now, when people say cholesterol is bad, you don't need to have any cholesterol, I'm going to give you a beta blocker. Cholesterol has uniqueness. All cholesterol is not bad. The omega-3s are good for your brain. They build brain cells. They help you to have resilience to inflammation in your body, and they flush it out for you. Okay? And these came off the internet, and I really aspire to these. I've been taking them for the past 2 weeks now. Now, some of you heard about Randy's verdict about his diet and having the leaky gut and talking about how the brain communicates, the hypothalamus communicates to the leaky gut. Well, this is one of the ones he recommended, number 3, that works on healing up that leaky gut and prevent and helps you to lose the weight you need to lose and function well. Now, here is the Vita, which is for the brain to help tell your body that the hypothalamus is working fine, and we're going to only speak to the body about being hungry when we're really hungry, and we're not going to upset our system by being hungry continuously, and we will take control. Now, these are some of the things that I am now taking, and I do aspire to protein and to fibers and good healthy plant protein. And here's one called Morning Complete, the Activate You. This activates you because it's got all of the minerals in it, and it has the proteins in it, plant protein, to help you to be able to have a food supplement when you're getting up early in the morning and leaving out and you can't have breakfast. This becomes a meal for you. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, who are we? I am Omi Inca 7 in tribe, and I say in tribe because I was raised up in a tribal setting in my home with 18 other members of the family. My brother was a Blackfoot Indian who raised me and my 17 other brothers and sisters. He raised us Native American style. He believed in natural products. He did not send us to the doctor for everything. And as I told you, I didn't attend a doctor office until I was 14 years old and was very sick at that point. And because the allopathic medicine only, it does not cure anything, it suppresses a symptom. And because it was suppressing my symptom of low blood pressure, it wasn't detected. It wasn't until I took some SS tonic that my blood boosted up and I was able to get up out of my bed, lift up my bed, and walk with it. And from then on, I began to believe in alternative practices for medicine, and not just allopathic. Because remember that most of the medicines that the allopathic doctors got, it came from the actual products of herbs and natural products. But then they began to synthesize it, want to speed it up, add more things to it. And then it was no longer alternative treatments. All right? I have a couple of books I want to share with you, but before I do that, I want to also let you know we have a foundation. We have a foundation of the network, and I want to talk a little bit about the network. Most of you don't hear me talk about it too often. The network's been around now for 10 years online under Blog Talk radio station, and that is Oracle Divination Network. And we are inviting you to become a part of our network. We're inviting you to become a part of our network and to join our network for free. It is a free network, And most of the people that we are urging to come are those spiritual men and women of the cloth. If you're a priestess and you are a priest, please join our network. We need you. We want priestesses and priestesses to be registered to talk about your skills that you have in the priesthood so you can offer up your services as a consultant and utilize natural products to work with clients as well as working with them spiritually. So if you haven't heard, I have a network, and it's Oracle Divination Network, and it started off as Care to Read over 10 years ago. And we matriculated to a number of people that would come in, and we would interview them for alternative treatments. We would interview individuals who, I guess you would say, paranormal gifts. Some people that could have dreams, some people that were clairvoyant, some people that were clairaudio. Clairaudio means to be able to hear things in other places, other location. Clair vision means to be able to see things before they happen. And some of us are mediumtists. We can actually hear things in people's voices that they're not saying, and we can alert people in advance and let them know that something is coming up the way and that we saw it in our vision. Some people are even channelers, where they can channel other people that are deceased. And I've been channeling Harriet Tubman now for the past 2 or 3 years. And I put on the persona that I am Harriet Tubman, and I say what she would say. I practice channeling because that's a gift that I want to ascertain. I am a clairaudio and a clair vision, where I can see things before they happen on people that are very close to me. I've been able to predict a couple of things of my loved ones, those who I know well. I cannot do it with people that I don't know. It's only those that I know well. And all of you should be clairvoyant with all of your loved ones who spend a lot of time with you. If you spend a lot of time with your children, you should be able to detect what is happening up ahead before it happens, if you're in tune with your children. Now, you got to get in tune. It doesn't just happen. But I also want you to know that these are natural things that come along with the lifestyles, not the rich and famous, but of the indigenous first world people. I want you to start calling yourself that and stop calling yourself black, because you're outside of the letter of the law when you use the term black. And black is not a color, okay? And we don't want to take a adjective that describes us and use it as if it's a noun. We are people that are a noun people, and we are first world indigenous people. Now, you don't have to go around calling yourself a Native American. No, your hair is not straight and your skin is not fair, but you are one of the burnt skin, copper tone indigenous Native Americans. And whether you want it or not, it's up to you. I take on that persona because my world is natural. I deal with the cardinal directions of the earth, north, west, south, east, and I deal with the elements, fire, water, air. Oye is the air. I deal with the traditions of African tradition. I am an African traditionalist. I do not proclaim a religion, because African traditionalist goes along with our culture. And because we have a culture and a heritage, we must have a way of life. So I'm not introducing a religion to you, but a way of life. So this is church for me. And some of you, I hope it will be church for you. It's a way of life, how you do things, what's in order for you, that you would perpetuate those things instead of going to allopathic medicine, instead of going the route of having chemotherapy. You might go a different route of having your diet changed. So you need to graft yourself onto these things, because it's a part of your life and it's a way of life. When you practice a way of life, it becomes natural. Now, I have a school that I'm creating within my home called Omi Inca's Way. And it is a way of life that incorporates Montessori with traditional. And this was something I taught in the public school, where I taught traditional education, all of the different methodologies and curriculums, and then in addition to that, Montessori. Most people don't think that you can blend Montessori, but Montessori is not trademarked. Anyone can use the name and incorporate the curriculum in their life. Right here in my kitchen, I will be filming my first platform school of implementing the infant and toddler portion of the training, giving the child an opportunity to expose themselves to a number of different areas of curriculum, fine motor skill, large motor skill, and dealing with the tutorials that will help them to develop in their growth. And I've already started to test it out on my grandson, who is faring very well. And we hope to bring that into the filmmaking. And also I have training materials that I've collected and developed over the years that I will be introducing to the public. One of them is for the family resource, self-directed family resource that you can create in your own home. I will walk you through that videotape and show you how to set up your own self-directed home resource center for your children who have special needs condition, and for parents in the community who also have a need for special need, and for children with differentiated learning. Now, the school itself was created for language, to enhance language, and to focus in on language solely. So you won't see a whole lot of other disciplines going on, but language will be the number one thing. We do urge parents to allow their children to be bilingual, to learn 2 languages, and we are bilingual, and let me tell you how. When you start off speaking Ebonics, that is a regularized code. That is language. So you are using your first language as Ebonics. And then you're using English and Orthodox English at our best. So we become dual language, and we are coming into Orthodox language, not speaking it very well at first, but we do have our regularized code Ebonics. Now, we want our black children to have a third language. We want them to pick up an African traditional language, and some of them have begun to look at Kiswahili. I want to intrigue you to look at also not only Kiswahili, but to look at Yoruba and to look at Medinetter. These are also languages. While your child is young, he can learn 2 and 3 languages at the same time. We must have linguistics that are working with them. So one of the things we're going to be doing is going into the community, working with these child development centers, teaching them how to introduce the literacy in the teachers who are working with early learning and preschool and infants and toddlers. So they will know the books to incorporate within their classrooms and how to incorporate linguistics. So we are very interested in having our children become dual language individual. And not just dual language, but understanding many language that will help them to be able to master these tests that are given, because they don't know the language and they come to school with fewer than 5,000 words. They cannot excel on the exams because they're limited with their language. So that's just a little part of me. I wanted to throw that in there, but that's not living healthy, aging well. But that's one of the things that grandparents have to get involved in, helping their children to bring up their family, infants and toddlers, and to bring them up at an age where they will be aging well. Some children are learning things too late and when their windows are shut. We have to teach them when the windows of that child is open and when they're excited about learning. And school is going along the wayside, and there's so much that I could even talk about on that subject, being that I'm a school teacher by profession. But today we're going to table that topic for another time. We're talking about seniors and aging well today. Now, I did say we were ministry, so we have a set of beliefs. And as I told you before, I won't go over all these beliefs and what we believe, but we do post these beliefs, and we will have them posted on our website so you'll realize it's a form of church for you, a way of life. We don't have a church house. where you walk in and give your tithes, but we have a way of life. And we do have a set of commandments. I think you should always have a set of commandments of the way you do things and how you do things. And I have this on another website online. I'm a builder of websites, so I have quite a few websites out there that you might not know that I built. I have a desire to build up our website, and our Lilly Institute for Sexual Education is out there for families to go on and get any of the materials we have. And I built that over 10 years ago, and just my little bit of knowledge I had, dropping and dragging, I put that together for families, and it goes along with the Parent Resource Center. Why am I so interested in the Parent Resource Center? Is because I found out the parent could have their own resource center, and that they didn't have to go to institutions to get knowledge, that they can get this information by virtue of creating their own institution online and having it in their home. Now, they can even make it specific to their race, to their culture, to their gender, and service the families in their community. And I want to show parents that they can write the grants to get the funding for these $100,000 grants that they're giving out every year. And those parents can begin to practice what they need to do to be able to answer that RFBP. Now, the Parent Resource Center has a whole training kit to go with it. It will be advertised online, and you can purchase it and take your time viewing the videos. These videos were done by myself, Garth Vaden, and I under the Parent Information Institute, and we created these TV-ready videos for Black African Americans by Black African Americans. You'll see us in our garb, our African garb, and we are appealing to your best interest to let you know that you too can create your own webinars and resources and retrain yourself. So that's a little bit about the Parent Resource Center, and we'll be able to talk more about that. But are you aging well? Are you aging well? And are you feeling well with your aging? Now, we talked a little bit about looking at the beauty industry and making sure that Black people know that Black will crack, and we have to do something about it. We have to put that moisture and resilience back in our body. And I did tell you I was going to talk to you about the protein. And the protein is very important. It's very important that you understand that this protein is what's going to help you. But you cannot. This is the protein that I was telling you about. Collagen peptides. This protein, it's a protein for natural plant protein, and it's going to help build your muscles and give you the resilience that you need. And this is also a collagen peptide. Okay, and these are the two that I take a scoopful and put in my juice or beverage, and I add that as my breakfast. I don't oftentimes sit down to eggs and bacon, but when I do, I like to eat a hearty meal. Now, those are just some of the things that I was going to tell you about. There's a couple of books I like to recommend, and Healthy Aging, and this is by Andrew Wells. He's an MD. I've been following him for a while, reading his material. He talks a lot about aging well and helping you to stay with the universe. And he has Eating Well for Optimum Health. And I don't know if you've read that. If you can go out and get a copy of it, go to the library. If you can't afford one, maybe it's posted in the library. You can buy books at book sale. I'm a lover of books, and I try to get as many as I can. Now, here's another book that I bought that was online, The Secret of Underground Medicine by Dr. Richard Gerhauser, MD, Natural Health Responds. This book has a lot of information in it. It is a resource and referral, and you can use this book to find out about conditions and whether or not they have a cure for them. I definitely want to implore you to get that book. This book here, Home Remedies, is my favorite. The People's Pharmacy, and that's why I call my kitchen the pharmacy. Home Remedies, Q&A for your common ailments. And this is something that you should have. And this book is by Joe and Terry Graedon. And you definitely want, and their last name is Graedon. You definitely want to get something like this that is close to your kitchen. If your kitchen is not being used as your pharmacy, something is wrong. Then you're creating death in your kitchen. I oftentimes tell young people that the best thing you can do is have good, healthy procedures in your kitchen, and that is to wash well, to sanitize your kitchen, because there's death in your kitchen, and you can create death for other people by creating poison. And a lot of people can become poisoned from foods in the kitchen and from septic problems that you pass on. So it's important to scrub down and clean the kitchen, and it's very important to wash as you go. Don't just let a bunch of dishes pile up and then you want people to sit down to a meal. People say, oh no, your kitchen's not clean, your floor's not swept. Those are all important things that need to be done before you start serving a meal to anyone, okay? And I want you to know that we can do a better job of what we're doing, because we have been the cooks of the world. We have been the mammies of the world. And you don't just become a good cook because you do it repetitiously. You do it and you get more better, like Spike Lee would say, more better. So I cooked all my life as a young girl, starting out at about 14 years old, being trained by a real chef in cooking. So I like to cook gourmet foods and I like to prepare foods, but I also want to make sure they're healthy and they're not causing me to slip into death slowly as I age and as I age poorly. You want to age well, you want to age gracefully. So as you age, you want to make sure your skeleton system is strong. And that's why I had told you, if you don't get anything else, I recommended getting your skeleton and your joint system together to stop all those aches and pains with Algae Cal Plus and Scrotum Boost. These two products were recommended very highly for the skeleton system of a woman, because as she goes through menopause, or we go through menopause, we have a tendency to become our bones become very frail and fragile. And without a structure to hold up this body, and if you're all bent over, I don't care how much medicine and vitamins you take, if you're bent over and your bones are decrepit, you cannot hold this frame up. So we want to do a lot about our muscles through our protein, because you want some resilience muscles so you can pick things up and lift your grandbabies and be able to pick up bags and keep going and go up those steps like you normally would when you were younger. You don't want to have all this tendon problem where your tendons are hurting now, your muscles are hurting. And some people get up and they say, oh, I couldn't get out of bed, my muscles hurting. And I often thought, because I was a runner, that this would do something for me in my old age. And it really did. It caused me to have cramps when I try to get up too quickly out of bed. Then I could experience this cramp, and that would tell me, oh, I have a salt deficiency. I got to run and get some salt so that salt can get to circulate in my body. So we have to make sure we look at our glands. How are our glands doing? Are we emptying our glands? Or are they full with things that need to be cleansed out? We need to do a detox in our body and cleanse those things so that our blood is cleansed. Sometimes the blood can be so heavy that it's carrying all of this mucus and excess waste that we are feeling sluggish, and we want that flushed out of our body. But my question is, are you aging well? Are you aging well? Well, you know, now why is this doing this? Let's see here. Why is she doing that? We're going to keep right on talking, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what happened over here, but we're going to keep right on talking. And I want to say that we lost that airwave with our Facebook, but we'll get it back. Just hold tight, and we're still going to keep talking here, because we are talking here with our people on Spreaker. How's my Spreaker friends doing today? We're going to take a short commercial, Spreaker. We're going to bring in some music. We're going to take a short commercial. Thank you so much. You're so kind sometimes. You are so kind sometimes. And I tell you, I don't know what my system is trying to do here, but we are going to just command it to come back in order and to get with the program, because we are not having any exception to the rule where you're shutting down. We are shutting people on, turning them on. We're not turning them off. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. You've got Mrs. Harvey's baby sister here at Georgia Spence. I am your advocate and I am your advisor. I am here to talk to you about aging well. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy that I'm on this side of the gravel and can be able to speak to you about a topic such as this in a time like this with the pandemic and so many people leaving this earth, making their transition. There's a cleansing going on in the earth, and we know this. However, we got to do something about aging better so that we don't transition out of here prematurely. There's a lot of people leaving this earth, and prematurely they are leaving out for no apparent reason. We don't like it. We don't like it one bit, and we're going to do something to stop it. We're going to stop people from having to leave out so early in life, because they can do better if they know better. But if you don't know anything about living well, how could you do better? The only way you're going to be able to do better, you got to know something about living well. And I want you all to understand that we can do this, we can do it, and we can do it with a fork and a knife. Oh, yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can do it with a fork and a knife, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you want to know what it is to do well and to age well? How many of you want to stay in the know? We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming back with me. And we're live again back on Facebook. Right on in there, Facebook. Right in your face. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're aging. We're going to play that music again for you, Facebook. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back.